Good evening, everybody. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV coming to you live because Hurricane Beryl has become a Category 5 hurricane tonight with 160 mile per hour max sustained winds. It is supposed to approach Jamaica, maybe hit Jamaica, if not, maybe be near Jamaica later this week. It is supposed to weaken a bit before getting to Jamaica, just to be clear. It is not supposed to be a Cat 5 when it gets near Jamaica, but it is. This is the earliest? The National Hurricane Center says this is the earliest Category 5 hurricane observed in the Atlantic Basin on record, and is only the second Category 5 hurricane to occur in July after Hurricane Emily in 2005. So we want to bring you the latest updates here, take some comments and questions from you. You can reach me on X, at Lookner on X is where to reach me, at Lookner on X. Thanks so much to all of our moderators for being here. We have Ruth Krafasi is moderating. Thanks so much, Ruth. Cynthia Moon is there. Thanks to Linda Belk and Larry for moderating. Also, thank you for moderating. Excuse me. David Green, Good Luck Duck, Papa Bear, and Surly Dev on Twitch. And then over there on Facebook, really appreciate it. We have moderating Margaret Riley and Kay Lowry Body and Christina Neal are all there. And Bud Green as well. Thank you. And thanks to Nettie for becoming a member. Nettie RG, our members, Fish Tacos, Gringo, Sergeant Klein, and all of our other members over there on YouTube. Thank you. So check it out. Beryl becomes a potentially catastrophic Category 5 hurricane in the Eastern Caribbean, expected to bring life-threatening winds and storm surge to Jamaica later this week. Now, Hurricane Beryl already caused very significant damage in Carriacou, in Grenada, is that in Grenada? I think it is. Hang on a second here. I like to double-check things. Yes, Grenada. And so there's been very significant damage in Carriacou. It's not even clear how bad things are there yet. I think we're going to play a little of I'll play you a little of the Prime Minister speaking tonight of Grenada. But it already passed over Carriacou, and now it is heading further to the west. So I'm going to show you right now. Here's where it is right there. There's Beryl right there. I'll show you, the forecast cone and everything. Where is, I do want to show you real quick, though, from Tropical Tidbits. Let's check out the satellite shot from Tropical Tidbits website. Great website, Tropical Tidbits. Where did I throw the link to Tropical Tidbits? I know what it is, but I have a link here. What did I do? What did I do with my Tidbits link? All right, I'm going to have to just, here. There it is. Check it out. Here's the satellite from tropicaltidbits.com. Look at that. Wow. That is your satellite shot from tropicaltidbits.com. Great website for checking out hurricane stuff. Zoria says it looks very scary. Vilify Exile says, look at that eye. Why is it so black? The colors represent the temperature of the cloud tops, and black, white, and purple are the coldest colors. And when you have the stronger storms, you get the colder colors, black, white, and purple on the top. So that is the current satellite shot. 160 miles an hour max sustained winds. Pressure is at 938, moving west-northwest at 22 miles per hour. So let's check out we'll do the interactive map. Interactive cone. From National Hurricane Center. So currently it is forecast to just go south of Jamaica, although Jamaica is in the cone of uncertainty. And it is supposed to end up, so right there is 8 p.m. July 3rd. And this right here is 8 a.m. July 3rd. So we're talking about Wednesday when it's going to make a close pass or even hit Jamaica, according to the forecast. And you can see as of right here, it's supposed to be 120 mile an hour, category 3. And then here it's supposed to be a 110 mile an hour. That's the highest miles per hour for category 2. So the current forecast is for it to weaken some, but it is still possibly a major hurricane. If not a major hurricane, then very close to a major hurricane as it goes by that, it goes in the area of Jamaica. And Jamaica is under a hurricane warning right now. Yes, as Stephen Elder points out, it could shift a bit. I mean, it's in the cone of uncertainty. There's a 2/3 chance that the center stays in the cone, I think, over 5 days. So it would not be surprising if at all, if this ended up hitting Jamaica. Would not be crazy. Let's hope it doesn't. Sean TV, who's one of our viewers, said he had friends anchored in Isla Mujeres. And he said they tied up their boat in a mangrove for safety, hoping the hurricane dies down before it gets to them. You know, I have to look up where that is. Sean, hang on a second. I'll look that up. Hang on. I actually got to pull up a map here anyway. I wanted to do that. Isla Mujeres. Oh, like Mexico. I see. Yucatan Peninsula. Yeah, so Sean's friends that he mentioned are over, you'll see it in 2 seconds. Hang on, I'll show you in 2 seconds. Sean's friends are where that red marker is. Here. Isla Mujeres. And they've tied their boat up in a mangrove to protect it. But yeah, we'll look on the path as to what the forecast is for that. Let's see. It's like they tied their boat up among a bunch of trees. So if you look here, you can see that Wednesday morning and Wednesday evening, throughout the day on Wednesday, it's going to be passing near Jamaica. Hopefully it doesn't hit it. And it's still supposed to be either a Cat 3 or a strong Cat 2 at the time. And then it makes its way towards Mexico, Yucatan Peninsula. And at this point here, that is 8 p.m. on Thursday. And at that point, it's a 90 mile an hour, what is that, a Cat 2? I think that's Cat 2, isn't it? If it's 90, or is it Cat 1? No, Cat 1. 90 is a Cat 1. So it is supposed to be weaker by the time it gets to Mexico. But still a hurricane. So, again, Wednesday morning, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, Thursday night. And that's, no, I messed that up. This is Wednesday morning, Wednesday night. Then that's Thursday morning, Thursday night, and that's Friday night. It is moving at 22 miles an hour. Quick thanks to Joseph Fiorentino. Thanks so much, Joseph. Joseph Fiorentino. Any forecast of it hitting the U.S.? I'll have to look at the spaghetti maps. It is supposed to get a lot weaker. It's supposed to be a tropical storm in here. So we'll check on tropical tidbits to see what the spaghetti diagrams say. Thanks, Marky B. Yeah, for your support, who says radar shows a picture portrait of a monster. And Fish Tacos and Vanessa for your support. Thank you. Over there on YouTube. Trudy Butcher says this is seriously scary. So in terms of like the people are asking, like, could it strengthen further? So what I'll show you here is this is, all right, first of all, those are some spaghetti diagrams from Tropical Tidbits. Now, the thing is, you're like, oh my gosh, it's going into the Gulf, and then it might, on a few of these, it turns north. Most of these, it kind of just goes straight into Mexico or maybe Texas here. And it's, so, but the question is like, what will it strengthen here? So at this point, when it enters here, the Gulf of Mexico, it's supposed to be just it's supposed to be a tropical storm. So it wouldn't have that much time to strengthen on these paths here. Let me see what it says here. So this is GEPS tracks. Well, I'm not going to worry about that now. What I'm going to do, on this projected track here, you can see it actually doesn't really strengthen because the pressure is up at 1,000 and it stays that way. It doesn't go down. Although this is kind of weird because it's starting to... When is this? I'm probably not reading this right because this says 996, but currently it's 938. Let's not worry about that one. I'm not a total weather expert, so this is all a Tropical Tidbits. This is what I'll show you right here. This is what to show you here. So this is Hurricane Beryl model intensity guidance, and this is a bunch of different models predicting what's going to happen to the storm, how strong it's going to get. This is from tropicaltidbits.com. So you can see that these various models all having it getting weaker, 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 weaker. And my guess is maybe, is this when it's in the Gulf? Here? Here? Because it says I'll show you here. It says forecast hour. The forecast hour here is, this is 8 p.m. I got to do the math on the forecast. But anyways, my assumption is that this, you can see some of these have it strengthening after it weakens to a tropical storm. And my assumption is that this would be in the Gulf. But they don't, a lot of these lines that have it weakening, a lot of these forecasts that have it weakening to a tropical storm don't have it actually getting much stronger after that. Although there's a few that do. There's a few that do. I'll play you on Tropical Tidbits shortly what a couple of the model predictions say right now for it. But, you know, we'll have to see. It's also a ways out. I mean, we're talking about the current forecast track by the National Hurricane Center. Oops, what am I doing here? Sorry, there you go. You know, this is 8 p.m. Saturday. That's 6 days away that it's here. So we'll have to see how things develop. But that's the current forecast. That's the current forecast track. It has it as a tropical storm 6 days from now in the Gulf. Login Dog thinks it's too far out to tell. I don't know if it says, there might be some talk, it is pretty far out. There might be some talk of that in the forecast discussion. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Beryl is a potentially catastrophic Category 5 hurricane. This is the earliest Category 5 hurricane observed in the Atlantic Basin on record, and only the second Category 5 hurricane to occur in July after Hurricane Emily in 2005. Okay. By the way, NOAA also says the Atlantic hurricane basin includes the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, and Gulf of Mexico. So this is the earliest Category 5 in the Atlantic Ocean, Caribbean Sea, and Gulf of Mexico ever. Okay, talks about Beryl's movement. Blah, 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 blah. After the next 72 hours, model track spread increases quite markedly, especially after Beryl emerges into the Gulf of Mexico, and forecast confidence in the track at the end of the forecast is rather low. So what they're saying there is, once this storm moves into the Gulf of Mexico, the models are saying various things. They don't know what it's going to do, really, once it gets into the Gulf of Mexico. The forecast track confidence is quite low. So they just don't have a good idea right now where it's going to go when it gets into the Gulf of Mexico. That's what they just said. That's what they're saying here. They have different models saying different things. So it's probably not a very useful activity to really try to figure out right now where it's going when it gets into the Gulf of Mexico. They literally say, after 72 hours, model track spread increases quite markedly, especially after Beryl emerges into the Gulf of Mexico, and forecast confidence in the track at the end of the forecast is rather low. But it is supposed to weaken. Yes, S means tropical storm here. The latest forecast discussion says, while I cannot rule out a bit more intensification in the short term, drop-zone pressure observations between fixes and Beryl's eye have remained steady at 938. It is also possible another eye wall replacement cycle could begin like we saw last night. With that said, after the next 24 hours, both the GFS, both the American and European weather models, which are highly used and respected, both the GFS and ECMWF models remain insistent that significant mid-level westerly wind shear above 30 knots, that's when you have wind at different heights going in different directions, and it is not good for hurricanes. They say there will be wind shear after 24 hours, and it will begin to undercut Beryl's outflow layer. Also, some other models, they say, are insistent this year will start to disrupt the hurricane after the next 24 hours. So they say, and then they say that there is evidence of this less favorable upper level pattern on GOES 16 water vapor imagery upwind of Beryl's track, and thus a faster rate of weakening is forecast from 36 to 72 hours. There remains much uncertainty. Of what Beryl's structure or intensity will be as it approaches or crosses the Yucatan Peninsula. But the current American GFS and European upper level pattern in the Gulf of Mexico does not look especially favorable for re-strengthening at the end of the forecast period. So what they say there is, there's a lot of uncertainty about how strong it's going to be and exactly what's going to be going on with it when it gets into the Gulf of Mexico. But they say the wind shear, if I'm reading this right, the wind shear will be there will not be weather conditions. For example, wind shear, lack of wind shear in the Gulf of Mexico, which would be favorable for it to strengthen a bunch. That's what they're saying there. That's what they say. They say there remains much uncertainty of what Beryl's structure or intensity will be as it approaches or crosses the Yucatan, there's the Yucatan right there. But the current GFS and European upper level pattern in the Gulf of Mexico does not look especially favorable for re-strengthening at the end of the forecast period. So right now, odds are it's not going to re-strengthen when it gets into here. If it does, it's not going to re-strengthen much. Okay? Beryl is forecast to remain a powerful hurricane as it moves across the Caribbean Sea later this week. A hurricane warning is now in effect for Jamaica, where hurricane conditions are expected on Wednesday. It is supposed to be a Category 3 or perhaps a strong Category 2 as it moves near Jamaica. And if you look here, you can see it's at 160 miles an hour now. They're not forecasting any further strengthening. You can look at these max sustained winds. It just kind of drops here. So 24 hours from now, 145. 48 hours from now, 110. Let's look at that satellite shot again on Tropical Tidbits. This is tropicaltidbits.com. So this might be as strong as it's going to get. Yes, so I'm going to talk about the island of Carriacou shortly. But it is currently a Category 5, the earliest Category 5 ever in the Atlantic Basin, which is the Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Caribbean Sea. Earliest one. And only the second July Category 5 since the one in, what was it, 2005, I think? I gotta relook that up. The second Category 5 in July after Hurricane Emily in 2005. A little insight here, by the way, also from Philip Klotzbach, who is a meteorologist. He said one reason why Hurricane Beryl intensified to a Category 5 hurricane over 2 weeks earlier than any other Atlantic Cat 5 on record is due to the extremely high ocean heat content levels, high ocean temperatures. Caribbean ocean heat content today is normally what we get in the middle of September. That's from Philip Klotzbach. Dr. McRib says, yes, I was worried about this due to the sea temperatures. Is it going to hit any populated islands while it's still a 5? No, it is not. It is not forecast to. It is going to pass by Jamaica, near Jamaica or hit Jamaica. We don't know. Could hit Jamaica. Right now, it's supposed to go south of Jamaica, but it could hit Jamaica. But it'll be a 3 or a 2, they say, when it's near Jamaica. That's the current prediction. Where is that here? There. Hey, thanks, Donna Smith, for the gift memberships. Also, Blissful Essence, so nice of you. Thanks for the gift memberships. I really appreciate that. And also, Megan71. Hey, thanks so much, Megan71, for the gift membership. So nice of you. Thanks to our member, Randy French. Appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and we are bringing you the latest updates here. Oh, and thanks so much to Brian Beelman. That's so nice of you. Thanks for the gift memberships over there on YouTube. Somebody gives you gift memberships, give them a shout. Thank them on YouTube. Thanks, Brian. That's really nice of you. Thank you. But the next, there's the only place with a hurricane warning right now is Jamaica. Thanks also to VH. Do they have anything right now for their... They have rainfall potential. This thing is moving so fast. These are not like enormous rainfall amounts. It says, Hurricane Beryl is expected to produce rainfall totals of 4 to 8 inches with localized maxima of 12 inches in portions of Jamaica on Wednesday. That could cause some flash flooding. It's not supposed to just kind of hover and sit there. It's supposed to keep moving fast. So they say that, and they say hurricane conditions are expected to reach the coast of Jamaica within the warning area on Wednesday. Fine. Storm surge right now, that could change depending on if the track changes. The current storm surge could raise water levels by as much as 3 to 5 feet above normal tide levels in areas of onshore winds along the coast of Jamaica. And 1 to 3 feet along the southern coast of Hispaniola. We talked about the rainfall. Yeah, so, obvious storm surge will be greater if it ends up taking a track that's closer to Jamaica. Let me go back here. So we'll have to see if the track changes at all. Here, let me show you the interactive cone again, interactive map. That's the track right now. There's Jamaica right there. Let's do it this way. There we go. There's Jamaica, and there's the black line is the track. So let's hope the track doesn't go north. They said that in this latest forecast, they moved the track a bit north. Yeah, we're going to give you an update on Grenada in a second. Thank you very much, Brian Beelman. I really appreciate that, Brian. Thank you. And thanks also to John Richer. Thank you, John. Much appreciated. So over the next couple days, we got to keep an eye on this in terms of where the track is going to be. But the next big impact is supposed to be Jamaica. Then we'll keep it. It's supposed to keep weakening after that. Could be a hurricane still when it gets to Yucatan Peninsula. So let's talk about. Actually, give me one moment here. Give me one moment. But I want to give you an update on Carriacou. No, it's not Curacao. There was a lot of confusion about this. It's Carriacou, not Curacao. Curacao is a different Caribbean island. We're not talking about Curacao. So I know it's confusing. Curacao is near Venezuela. We're talking about Carriacou, which is in Grenada. Let's see if I can show you here. Hold on. Hang on a moment. There. Curacao is there. And that's near Venezuela. That's Curacao. The island that got hit is here, and it's called Carriacou. Right there. Carriacou. So I know it's confusing, but just to be clear. So we're going to talk about Carriacou in a second, because the hurricane went right over Carriacou. At one point, Carriacou was in the eye of the hurricane. And I think about 10,000 people live on Carriacou, and it has been devastated. Although it's not exactly clear what the state of that is. And so we're going to give you an update on that in a second. Yeah, 10,000 people live in Carriacou. Yes, so there is, thanks by the way to Linda Cosma, our member, and also Jennifer Rochelle, and Bebop and Rocksteady. Thank you so much, Bebop and Rocksteady. I appreciate that. So there is a video, which I can't show because it's not my video. I will I posted a link to the video on my X account. So you can go there and see it. My X account is @Lookner. In the video, I said video showing some of the damage in Carriacou. His name is Jonathan Petramala. And he made a video today showing damage, and it's quite bad. But the Prime Minister tonight, and I'm going to play you this, the Prime Minister of Grenada said there's severe damage. They've had scant communication with the island. It's hard to communicate with the island. And save for the Emergency Operations Center, almost everything else around Carriacou has been damaged or significantly destroyed. That's according to the Prime Minister. And they said they're going to, I'll give you a link to my X account in the chat, by the way. They said they're going to have people get there, I think, tomorrow from the island of Grenada. They're going to go over to Carriacou. But the power's out there and communications are really bad. So you can check out that video, that YouTube video. Now, I can't show the drone footage. I don't own that footage, so I can't show it. But the video has some drone footage and some other footage by Jonathan Petrom. Again, it's on my X account. I linked to it there. Jonathan Petramala. And what I want to do now is I actually want to play you guys what the Prime Minister of Grenada said tonight about Carriacou. Carriacou is in Grenada, but it's its own island. Cheryl says, it was amazing he got a video out. Damage was horrendous. I think the place they were staying, the roof blew off. Here. Look. Emergency team travels to Carriacou with relief. Honorable Deacon Mitchell, the National Disaster Management Agency, and other officials will travel to Carriacou to offer assistance and provide relief supplies to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Is it Petit Martinique in the devastating aftermath of Hurricane Beryl? I believe Petit Martinique is another island north of Carriacou, I believe it is. It's pronounced Petit Martinique. It's to the northeast of Carriacou. Hurricane Beryl, which made landfall today, has caused widespread damage, leaving residents without homes, electricity, and essential supplies. The situation requires our immediate attention, and all efforts must be made to support our sister islands, said the Prime Minister. Okay, blah, 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 blah. So that's an update they just posted 21 minutes ago. And I'm actually going to, that's a press release from the Prime Minister of Grenada. But let me show you here. Where is it? I saw it. Is it not posted anymore? What happened to the video? Did they post it on YouTube? I watched the video. I was watching it on Facebook. Now I don't see it. Let's see. Is it on their YouTube channel? I literally watched that video of the press conference. Let's see. The video is on YouTube, somebody said. I'm going to find it right now. Yes, I have it. Okay. Here it is. So let's check this out. This is you can see it says Hurricane Beryl National Response, Government Information Service of Grenada. Now, I'm not going to play the whole thing. I didn't watch the whole thing. Let me play you what the Prime Minister had to say. Okay, this is tonight. This is from a few hours ago. And again, it's a Grenada government channel. Let me do this a different way. Hang on one second. Let me just do this a different way. Give me 1 second. Let's do it this way. That'll be better. Okay, here is the Prime Minister of Grenada.
Citizens of Mitchell and also Minister for
Are you not hearing this? Now you're going to hear it. Now you're going to hear it. Hold on. I just turned the sound on. Let's do that again. I'm going to also put up his name on the screen, if I can. What happened to this? Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell of Grenada. Oopsie. That's not him. You'll see him in a second. Here we go.
Thank you, Dr. Walters. At this time, we want to hear from Prime Minister, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and also Minister for National Security and Disaster Management. Prime Minister.
Thank you, Press Secretary, and good night to citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique, to those who are viewing online and to those in the diaspora. I want to say also good night to those who are listening and looking at us regionally and internationally. And I want to start off by asking us to keep our brothers and sisters in Carriacou and PT Martinique and in the Grenadine Islands in our thoughts and prayers. And I say this because we have had, since early afternoon, very little communication from Carriacou and PT Martinique. Virtually all of the communication that we are accustomed to is down, both cell phones, internet data, VHF radio. We also trying ham radio. We also trying satellite phones, but the communication has been scant at best. And as you would recognize from the various briefings that have gone before, we have very little information as to the exact state of play in Carriacou and PT Martinique. And so we will continue to monitor the situation and continue to get, attempt to get communication and contact established with Carriacou and PT Martinique. If we are not able to do so overnight, we certainly will, first thing in the morning at daybreak, send the Coast Guard to Carriacou to be able to do an assessment. Because it is dark night and because we suspect there may be significant amounts of debris in the water, we have decided not to send them tonight because we want to make sure that we don't endanger the life and limb of our security personnel. So again, I want to emphasize that at this point we do not have any accurate information as to the state of play in Carriacou and PT Martinique. We are aware that there is no power. We also are aware that communication is down, and from earlier in the day we are quite clear that the destruction and the damage has been quite devastating. When last I spoke with Minister Tevin Andrews, he had indicated that save for the emergency operating center, that almost everything else around Carriacou had been damaged or significantly destroyed.
I want to play that statement again. And I don't know if he had seen that video that Jonathan Petrolama posted on YouTube, which some of you have seen, and it's on my X account linked there, but which shows a bunch of damage in Carriacou. So I don't know if maybe they hadn't seen that video, or maybe they have, but they haven't heard other stuff. So, but what he just said there, you know, he said they've had very little communication from there, and a minister told him that except for the emergency operations center, everything was destroyed or damaged. So I'm going to play that statement again. In the water, we have decided not to send them tonight because we want
our security personnel. So again, I want to emphasize that at this point, we do not have any accurate information as to the state of play in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. We are aware that there is no power. We also are aware that communication is down. And from earlier in the day, we are quite clear that the destruction and the damage has been quite devastating. When last I spoke with Minister Tevin Andrews, he had indicated that save for the emergency operating center, that almost everything else around Carriacou had been damaged or significantly destroyed. So yes, while Hurricane Beryl is now past, it has left clearly a part of destruction, a part of damage on mainland Grenada, but more so significantly in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And I want to emphasize that although the all clear has been given, that the curfew remains in effect until 6:59 a.m. tomorrow. The reason for this is to ensure the continued safety and security of our citizens. As you've heard from Grenada, there are fallen lines mostly in the eastern and north and western parts of the island, and so it is not able to restore electricity in those areas until it is able to properly assess the extent of the damage and the repair work that is necessary. This means that there is a risk to life and limb, and we want people therefore to stay off the roads. We've also heard from the Commissioner of Police that as at least 1 hour and a half ago, some parts of the road on the western and northern side had not yet been cleared, and so traversing the road, certainly at least up to an hour and a half ago in those parts, was not permissible. Again, another reason to stay off the roads tonight until we're able to make a better assessment of the state of things tomorrow morning. You'd have heard Mr. McIntyre indicated that because the all clear was given at 8 p.m. tonight, that we could not give a more thorough damage assessment on mainland Grenada, and certainly we are not able to give any assessment at all, except for the preliminary reports that we got in relation to Carriacou and Petit Martinique. So again, the residual effects of the hurricane will persist for a long time, and so we need our citizens to exercise caution and care. I will give you some additional updates. The airport has indicated that it has suffered minimal damage or disruption, and that it will be in a position to be open at 10 a.m. tomorrow. The Grenada Ports Authority.
I assume that's the airport not on Carriacou, but on Grenada Island, which is south of that.
Authority has also indicated that it will be in a position to be open tomorrow. That's the Port of St. George. It is not able to give any assessment as to the state of the port in Carriacou for the same reasons that we've advanced before, because of the inability to get any contact or accurate information coming out of Carriacou. NAWASA has already given its update, and Grenada has also given its update. Telecommunication has been severely disrupted as a result of the storms, so much so that even at the National Emergency Operating Center here at NADMA, we also suffered significant disruption for a significant part of this afternoon. And you would have observed that our usual timely briefings, which we normally give, has not occurred this afternoon, and that is because of the disruptions that we faced. Thankfully, the situation has improved, and we are now able to communicate more clearly and accurately with you. I want to provide a brief overview of the security situation. The Royal Grenada Police Force indicated that there was no major incidents of note. The Central Police Station on the Carriacou suffered damage to its roof, and as a result some water damage and some electrical damage as well. So the necessary precautions have been taken to ensure that we minimize the risk associated to the lawmen who are operating from the Central Police Station, and obviously that is one station that we would have to make efforts to begin to repair immediately so that safety is brought to the lawmen. There was a fallen tree at the residence of the Governor General that has been cleared, and I'm happy to say that the Governor General is safe, and there is no risk to her safety. There were some fallen trees at the residence of the Prime Minister. That too has been cleared up, and there is no risk. As you would have heard when the person from the Ministry of Health gave its report, We do have, regrettably, one fatality that is reported to have occurred at River Road when a tree fell on a home. This hits home because the deceased person is in fact a relative of one of the persons who spent the last 36 hours with us here at the National Emergency Operating Center. I want to take this opportunity to express on my own behalf and behalf of the people of Grenada a profound condolences to the family of the person who've lost their loved one. And it shows that even when persons are here doing human service to the nation at a difficult time, that sometimes tragedy could strike when you least expect it. And so, again, on our own behalf, we express profound empathy and condolences to the family of the victim. That is the only fatality that we have reported thus far, but bearing in mind the challenge that we have in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, we are not able to confirm that this is the only fatality. We do hope that there aren't any other fatalities or any injuries to persons as a result of the hurricane. I want to point out that we will have a CARICOM emergency heads of government meeting at 10 a.m. tomorrow, partly to coordinate the CARICOM response to the disaster. The meeting will be chaired by President Irfan of Guyana. As you are aware, Grenada was set to assume the chairmanship of CARICOM on Wednesday of this week, but as a result of Hurricane Beryl, we had to cancel the CARICOM meeting, and so President Ali will continue to chair this emergency meeting so that we have a coordinated response to the disaster. I wish to say that to some extent we have dodged a bazooka. A Category 4, almost Category 5 hurricane is almost as severe as it gets. And save for Carriacou and Petit Martinique and the northern part of Grenada, we have escaped largely unscathed. We have to be thankful. We have to count our blessings. But this exercise has demonstrated that we have a long way to go in our approach to preparedness for natural disasters. So we need to appreciate that we live in the hurricane belt. All of the evidence suggests that the storms are going to become more frequent and they are going to be more powerful and strong as Hurricane Beryl has demonstrated. This storm developed into a Category 4 storm in record time. We had very little time to prepare. And so as a nation, we have to come to grips with the reality of where we live and the threats to our existence. And so it is important that when this initial phase is over, that we conduct the necessary debriefing, we conduct the necessary postmortem, and that we put the necessary systems, procedures, and resources in place to make sure that we continue to minimize risk to life and to property and to our way of life. There have been several persons who have spent the last 36 or more hours at the Operations Center working on behalf of the citizens of Grenada. I want to take the opportunity to thank them for their service. They have gone above and beyond the call of duty. They have done so at enormous sacrifice to themselves and to their families. And so on behalf of the citizens of Grenada, I express my personal thank you. On behalf of the government of Grenada, I express its thanks for the tremendous work and support that you have given. This is not over by a long shot. The National Emergency Advisory Council meeting will meet at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow to provide a more thorough review of what the current situation is. As I said, Carriacou and Petit Martinique remains of major concern. We still have several thousands of persons who are in shelters. There has been significant damage to homes, and so all of the necessary relief efforts are going to have to be galvanized to make sure that persons are looked after. We are here to serve you. We will continue to do so in the best interests of the citizens of Grenada. This is a time for all of us to unite, to show empathy and solidarity with each other, but not just here in Grenada. Bear in mind that St. Vincent and the Grenadines have also been impacted by the storm, and at this moment I do not have a report from my colleague Prime Minister of St. Vincent, and we may have to be prepared to also render assistance to them. So I want us to bear this in mind. I'm sure there are still several areas that we would be required to provide updates on, but I want to take the opportunity to thank the members of the media who've stayed the course with us throughout this period and have been of tremendous significance in ensuring that the public is kept abreast in a timely manner of what was taking place. We have no doubt that this assisted many citizens in staying calm because you were providing them with timely and accurate information. It has been a long couple of hours. A lot of persons behind the scene have not slept in the last 36 hours. We certainly want to give them the opportunity to do so, to see their families, and for them to be able to be back here as early as possible in the morning. So, Presec, again, thank you for being here. Thank you to all of the persons who've made this possible. And I want us to remember we still need to be careful. We still need to be safe. There is another system that is developing in the Atlantic. The Met Office will continue to brief us on this to make sure that we pay attention to it. We hope that it dissipates and does not pose any threat to us here in Grenada and to our brothers and sisters within the region. Thank you, and do have a good night.
Okay, so that was Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell of Grenada. And you heard him say it. He said they have had very little contact with Carriacou, the island, which is in Grenada, north of Grenada Island. About 10,000 people live there. They know there's been severe damage. Almost everything there has been either damaged or destroyed. But they don't have a great sense of what the situation is there. As I mentioned earlier, there is somebody who posted a video. I think his name is Jonathan Petrolama, who posted about a 9-minute video on YouTube today showing video of some of the damage there, and it's quite significant damage, quite bad damage. Now, one thing though I noticed is in Jonathan's video, and I linked to that video on my X account, @Lookner on X, if you want to take a look at it. One thing I did notice when I watched that video is, so I couldn't tell when I was first watching the video how much the person who made the video could really get around the island. And oops, hold on, I just closed something I didn't want to close. Hang on, let me open it up again. Where is it here? Recently closed. Is that it there? Okay, good, I got it. So, and again, his name is, the guy who made the video, his name is Jonathan Petrolama. Jonathan Petramala. Again, I linked to the video on X, on my X account. Jonathan Petramala. So Jonathan went around and showed some video from the, hang on a moment here, from Carriacou, but I didn't. I couldn't tell like how much could he tell of how much of the island could he see? Ooh, why is this not posting up? What am I doing? There's something I'm doing wrong. Why is that there? Oh, I know why it's there. There. Okay. So, and I realized something. So some of what Jonathan showed in his video of Carriacou today was Main Street. Okay. Now, Main Street is actually on this side of the island. See, it says Main Street right here. And that's the side of the island. Now, the whole island got hit because the whole island was inside the eye of the hurricane. But I'm wondering if the storm surge was worse. I would think the storm surge was probably worse on the east side because the hurricane came across this way. So when the hurricane was approaching, the wind would have been pushing the water into Carriacou from the east. And so my point is, I don't know if Jonathan was able to get to the eastern side of the island. And it's possible that things are even worse on the eastern side of the island than on the western side of the island. Now there are, it looks like it's more populated on the western side. And again, Jonathan's video, he was on Main Street, which is in here. But, I don't know, did he, you know, there are places on the eastern side of the island where there are people living, like this area in here, and here, you know, so I don't know if he has even been able to get there. And then up here as well. There's plenty of places up here. This is the northeast of the island. So, you know, I could certainly, it was very helpful to see Jonathan's video to see what was going on in some parts of the island, but there's much of the island possibly that we have not seen. Also, I don't know that he made it down here. Did he make it down here? This is actually on the eastern side of the island, technically, down here. Yeah, this island is about, what, like 5 miles by 5 miles, roughly speaking? Yeah, about 4 by 4, 5 by 5, you know. You know, again, I don't know that the footage we've seen from Carriacou today is of the whole island or just maybe this area in here. But the Prime Minister said we do not have a good sense of what things are like on the entire island. He said that. And he said they've hardly had any communication with people there. Hopefully they've seen the video by now, the government there. So that's going to be something we will probably hear more about tomorrow. You know, tomorrow when the relief workers from Grenada Island, which is south of it, here, they're going to get there tomorrow. Yeah, it's Carriacou. That's Carriacou Island right there. Okay, so that's going to have to be something we look for. I hope people are okay there, but it's not clear what the situation. It's clear that there's lots and lots of damage, very serious damage there, but it's not clear totally what the complete picture is there. So we'll keep an eye out for that, and my thoughts with everybody there. And we'll talk a little bit more about what's coming up with this. Again, it's a Category 5, max sustained winds of 160. It is the first Category 5. It's the earliest Category 5 ever in the Atlantic Basin, which is Atlantic Ocean, Gulf of Mexico, and Caribbean Sea. You're looking at Tropical Tidbits right here, the website Tropical Tidbits. Great website for following hurricane stuff. There's the current satellite shot. And it is supposed to weaken over the next couple days and then end up near Jamaica on Wednesday. It is supposed to be a Category 3 or high Category 2 when it gets near Jamaica. It could even hit Jamaica. We don't know yet. Right now it's forecast to go a bit south of Jamaica and bring hurricane conditions to Jamaica. Yeah, and one of our viewers just mentioned PD Martinique. So that supposedly there's been some damage on PD Martinique as well, and some people do live there. It's a smaller island, PD Martinique. So I should be mentioning that. We don't know what the damage is like there, and I haven't seen any video there. So I should have mentioned that. That is also something where they have not had a lot of communication with there. And how many people live on PD Martinique? 900 people live there. So that's a whole other situation there. Is what are things like there? It's a very small island, and I'm sure they had a lot of storm surge. So I hope maybe people fled to higher ground or something. But there's not a lot of places to go on that island. You know, the whole island is about a mile across, that island. And the Jonathan Petramala video that I saw was from Carriacou, not PD Martinique. I haven't seen anything from PD Martinique. So that's something to keep in mind as well. There's also a resort up there, PD St. Vincent Resort. There's PD St. Vincent. So I don't know if they were hit as well and what the deal is there. So we'll have to see what comes out about that. I want to just give an update on the current state of things. There is the satellite. It's 160 mile an hour. It's a Category 5, earliest Category 5 in the Atlantic. It's the earliest Category 5 in the Atlantic Basin, and it is only the second Category 5 hurricane ever in July, and the first was in 2005. And if we go to the National Hurricane Center, you can see that it is forecast to, on Wednesday morning, Wednesday evening, go near Jamaica, because there is Jamaica right there. There's a National Hurricane Center. That is the forecast track. That is Jamaica right there. That is Monday, 8 a.m. That's Wednesday, 8 a.m., and that's Wednesday, 8 p.m. At 8 a.m., the wind is supposed to be down to 120 max sustained wind, which would be a Category 3. And at 8 p.m., the wind is supposed to be 110 miles an hour max sustained wind, which would be a high Category 2. Basically, after the next 24 hours or so, it's supposed to start weakening as it moves to the west. And then it's supposed to be, by the time it gets over here to the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, which will be, according to the forecast, maybe Thursday night into Friday, because that's Thursday night, July 4th, 8 p.m. It is supposed to be a 90 miles an hour, which would be a Category 1. And then the forecast says after it crosses over the Yucatan Peninsula, it'll be a tropical storm. The National Hurricane Center says things are not looking great for re-strengthening. There's a lot of uncertainty about where it will go when it gets into the Gulf of Mexico here. According to the National Hurricane Center, they said there's a bunch of it's not really clear where it's going to go. High uncertainty, but the current wind conditions, upper level wind conditions, suggest that it's going to be tough for it to re-strengthen when it gets into the conditions are not going to be great for re-strengthening when it gets into the Gulf of Mexico. But there's a lot of uncertainty about where it's going to go once it gets there. So we don't have a good idea of what's going to happen when it gets here, but we do know from the National Hurricane Center that, as they put it, they said the current GFS and European weather models say the upper level pattern in the Gulf of Mexico does not look especially favorable for strengthening at the end of the forecast period. So let's hope that this hurricane does not jog north and make a direct hit on Jamaica, because that would be bad. Much better that it misses it. Okay. By the way, quick thanks to our moderators. We have moderating right now. I'll actually show you the other map too. Hold on. Let me show you the other map. There's currently a Category 5, 160 mile an hour max sustained winds, pressure 938, moving west-northwest at 22 miles an hour. And there is that forecast track. Thanks to our mods, by the way. Ruth Kafasi is there. Late Night, Cynthia Moon. Really appreciate all of our moderators. Linda Belk and Larry moderate for us on X. Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley, Christina Neal over there on Facebook. Oh, I should mention the other systems as well. One of our viewers just mentioned the other systems. Paul Anderson modding too. Over there on Twitch. Daily Disclosure, I got that fire. Sarah, Pop, Baron, Surly Dev modding. Thank you so much. Also, thanks for your support. I owe a thank you to Kate Bevevino. Kate Bevavino. Thanks so much, Kate, for your support. And I also wanted to mention the other tropical systems they are looking at right there. Disturbance 20. Disturbance 1, 20% of cyclone formation in 48 hours. A tropical cyclone can then become, actually a tropical cyclone is a tropical cyclone. Is a hurricane a type of tropical cyclone, or is it there's tropical cyclone and then there's tropical storm and then there's hurricane? My question is, though, is a tropical cyclone all of those things, or is it the lowest wind level one? I'll tell you in a second. A tropical cyclone. Yes, tropical cyclones have. No. Yes, tropical cyclone. NOAA says a tropical cyclone is a rotating low pressure weather system that has organized thunderstorms but no fronts. Tropical cyclones with maximum sustained winds of less than 39 miles an hour are called tropical depressions. So tropical cyclones include tropical depressions, tropical storms, and hurricanes. And the difference between those are distinguished between how fast the max sustained wind is going. So there's a 40% chance through 7 days that this disturbance becomes a tropical depression, which could then strengthen into a tropical storm or a hurricane. So there's that one right there. 40% formation chance through 7 days, it says. Environmental conditions only appear marginally conducive for additional development of the system. So right now, it's not looking right now like conditions are that favorable for that to get a lot stronger. But you never know. Okay, and there's Beryl right there. In the current time, what is Jamaica time, just so you know, is same as Eastern. Jamaica time is midnight, and Grenada time is 1 a.m. Yes, it's 20% of formation through 48 hours, 40% of tropical depression formation, tropical cyclone formation in 7 days. Let me just check a couple other things out here. But we will be keeping an eye on this. Hang on one moment. Sorry, some people sent some stuff in. I'm just checking my messages too. Yeah, I can't show like storm chaser videos if I don't, that I don't own. I can't show them. So I appreciate people sending stuff in, but storm chaser photos, storm chaser videos, those I cannot show. Leslie Amp sent me a post from a storm chaser who said they thought they had the only working communications on the island, on Carriacou, and they were using a Starlink Mini. It's like a small, it's kind of a rectangle thing that you can use to connect to satellite internet. Leslie Amp mentioned that. Thanks, Leslie, for writing in. Let's see. We'll take a few more comments here. And right now, there's been one fatality in Grenada from someone who a tree fell on a house. But there could be more casualties, more injuries, maybe more fatalities. They just don't have a good picture of what things are like on the islands of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, but they should find out tomorrow more from those islands, especially Carriacou. Chris N says at least they get warning now. Can you imagine before satellites? And if you want to keep an eye on Beryl as it's moving through, it's in the Caribbean. Is in the Caribbean Sea now? Technically, is that where it is? Right here, Caribbean Sea, yes. So Tropical Tidbits is a great website for hurricane stuff. You can get forecast models there. You can get aircraft recon data. I'll peek at that if there's current stuff. And you can get this satellite shot that they have of that Category 5 hurricane. That is tropicaltidbits.com. Aircraft recon in storm. Okay, so there's a current plane in the storm. Is that on flight radar, maybe? I bet it might be. Hang on, let me check Flight Radar 24. Where is my link to Flight Radar 24? Where did I put it? There it is. Or maybe it's not up on Flight Radar 24. Sometimes they are. I don't know that it is. Yeah, because it would be in here somewhere. I don't see it there. It's in here somewhere. But if you look on Tropical Tidbits, you can see NOAA 2 mission number 7 into Beryl. And they're currently, you can go to Tropical Tidbits and go to Aircraft Recon and see the live data coming in. And if we go here, we can see, look at that. So this flight, they got a pressure reading. I don't know. It's hard to say whether that's 936 or 938. The official pressure is 938. So, and that was from about 2 hours ago. But it could be a little lower than 938 there. You can see the red line is the pressure. We don't have good wind data from this. So it's supposed to really start weakening after 24 hours, according to the National Hurricane Center. It says, after the next 24 hours, both the European and American models remain insistent that significant mid-level westerly wind shear will begin to undercut Beryl's outflow layer. And these other models are also insistent this wind shear will start to disrupt the hurricane after the next 24 hours. And they also say there will be a faster rate of a faster rate of weakening for 36 to 72 hours. So it's very possible this is the strongest this is going to get, but it still is supposed to be Category 3 or Category 2 when it gets near Jamaica. So we will be keeping an eye on this. Chad Tom Riddle said recon update 141 knot peak 10-second wind speed. Now, I don't know where Chad is getting that, but 141 knots would be what, about 100? Would that be 160 miles an hour? It is 162. And when they give the wind speed for these hurricanes, they give them it's either a 0 or a 5 at the end. Federally regarded says this is actually the best possible scenario for this storm, the strongest part of the storm, or when it is the strongest, completely missing population centers. Yeah, it's great that it's not passing over a population center right now. Federally regarded says entirely in the ocean right now. Jane Summers says hoping it just disappears. And the part of Mexico it's supposed to eventually get to is up here. So Cancun is up here. One of our viewers just mentioned Cancun. Word 'em up. Cancun is up here. There's the Yucatan Peninsula. So it's supposed to right now when it gets maybe Thursday night into Friday. It's supposed to pass over here. At that point, it is supposed to be a Category 1 hurricane. At that point. Right there, you see it says 90 mile an hour max sustained wind. So it's supposed to weaken, and I don't even know if it'll still be a hurricane when it makes landfall, assuming it does make landfall here in the Yucatan Peninsula. But that's the current forecast, is that it's a Category 1 hurricane as it approaches there. And that would be Thursday night into Friday. Thomas Gutowski says, damage done. Carriacou is devastated. Grandeur gateways from Jamaica. I hope this thing stays well south of Jamaica. Chad Tom Riddle thinks the pressure is 932. Actually, one thing I can do, I can just do a quick check and see. I follow some different meteorologists. Maybe some of them have posted and said what the observations are. Give me 1 second here. Let me just do a quick check. I'm not seeing anything posted there. Dylan Federico, who's a meteorologist, thinks that Beryl is getting stronger tonight, which could happen. So the forecast said I cannot rule out a bit more intensification in the short term. So it could get a little stronger. It's supposed to start weakening after around 24 hours. So Dylan Federico, who's a meteorologist, over there at Fox 4 Fox 4 meteorologist, hurricane chaser, hurricane specialist. This is the Tropical Tidbits satellite. He said Beryl is getting stronger tonight. Recent satellite imagery shows cloud tops are cooling around a contracting eye, which are the hallmarks of a strengthening storm. So he thinks it's still getting stronger. There's that satellite shot right there. Okay, well, guys, we will be keeping an eye on the storm. I will be keeping an eye on this storm. John Holiday says it's probably going to become a Category 6. He's joking. Category 5 is the highest category. So we'll have to keep an eye on this in the next couple of days. Again, it's supposed to, on Wednesday, get near, hopefully not make direct impact on Jamaica. And it could even, according to the National Hurricane Center, this could strengthen over the next 24 hours. So right now, max sustained winds are 160. Maybe it'll even get higher than that. All right. So anyways, by the way, so you can go to Tropical Tidbits for, go to Tropical Tidbits. You can go there if you want, tropicaltidbits.com, and you can look at that satellite and look at the other resources on that site. It's a great site, so check it out. I think I'm going to wrap up this live stream. Maybe we'll do more broadcasts on this as more news comes in. Certainly going to be keeping an ear out tomorrow to hear what we hear from Carriacou and PD Martinique in Grenada, which have been very hard hit, but we don't know exactly the extent of the damage there. So I appreciate you guys joining us. Let's hope this thing doesn't really strongly impact people, and we'll keep an eye on it. So you can, this is Agenda Free TV. We cover all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda. If you like the coverage, subscribe, follow Agenda Free TV. I will also post updates on my X account, at Lookner on X. You can follow me there for breaking news updates. And I also did post a link on my X account to that Jonathan Petramala video. It's about a 9-minute video on YouTube where he shows some footage from Carriacou. So you might want to check that out. But follow me on X for updates when I'm not on the air. And I really appreciate all of you guys joining the stream and watching the stream tonight. And also, thanks for sending me links and sending me updates and letting me read your comments and questions and sending me other stuff in the chat. I appreciate that. Oh, and thanks to Billy Joe Drage. That's so nice of you, Billy Joe Drage, all the way from Australia. Thank you, Billy Joe. And huge thanks to our moderators. They are the reason that we can even have chat rooms here, and really appreciate it. Even late at night, our moderators there in the chat room. Thank you so much, mods. Ruth Krafasi there right now. Thanks, Ruth. And all of our other moderators who've been over there on YouTube. And Cynthia Moon, thank you. Linda Belk and Larry, who moderate on X. Over there on Twitch, Daily Disclosure, I Got That Fire. Sarah, Papa Bear, Surly Div. Thank you so much. And on Facebook, we have had modding. Paul Anderson, Kay Larry Body, Christina Neal, Margaret Riley. Oops, I'm going to hear two of myself for a second. Thanks to all of our Facebook moderators. Very much appreciated. Paul, did I say Paul Anderson? Paul has been over there too. And thanks to everybody who donated. That is super nice of you. Really appreciate everybody who donated to the channel, gave gift memberships and all that. You are the ones who make this channel possible with your support. So thank you so much. If you ever want to make a donation to the channel, you can always go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. But huge thanks to you. And, I would recommend, because I don't know when breaking news is going to happen. So if you want to know when we go live, because I can't tell you in advance, sign up for our free notifications. We have a notification system. It works great. We set it up through Discord. You sign up once. It's free. You get sent a message whenever we go live, right before the stream. The Discord notifications are awesome. So sign up for those. The mods will post the link to the notifications in the chat, and you can find them in the description of this video on YouTube and Facebook as well. You can find that link. So sign up for the notifications. Also, at the same link, you can check out our Discord chat where you can chat with other viewers when we're not on the air. A lot of our viewers like doing that. That's also free. Big thanks to our Discord mods as well. And if anybody's interested in being a volunteer moderator, that would be awesome. Sometimes there's a bit of a wait list, but you can ask the mods for more information about that. And I also want to mention I do have, two things. First of all, if you subscribe to the channel on Facebook, you need to do a weird thing to turn the Facebook notifications on. You need to, if you want the Facebook notifications, click on this bell and activate this bell and choose all notifications. That's how you get the Facebook notifications. I mean, not Facebook, the YouTube. Did I say Facebook? I meant YouTube. This is for YouTube, the YouTube notifications. And what else? I do have a personal channel where I sometimes do non-news live streams. That is called Lookner on YouTube and Look Nerd on Twitch. Check out those if you like non-news live streams and want to watch me doing them. Lookner and Look Nerd. Okay. Hey, I want to say a big thanks to our Facebook subscribers, like Billy Joe Drage and Eve Richards, Margaret Riley, Kay Larry Body, all of our subscribers over there. Thanks for subscribing on Facebook. And all of our other viewers over there. For example, people like Axel Davis. Thanks for watching over there. Lynn Powell. Jane Summers is one of our subscribers over there. Thanks, Jane. And Corey Oreo. Thanks for watching over there. And John Gone. Thanks to our Twitch and all of our other YouTube, Facebook viewers. Our Twitch subscribers, thank you. Timido1, thanks for subscribing. Xmon407, Annie Kush, Relila, Shaggy, Wall Street. They're all over there on Twitch. Big thanks for subscribing. And all of our other viewers over there on Twitch. Thanks for watching over there. Big Chief Rick, for example. Das Cheat. Thank you for watching. And also our YouTube members, thanks so much to all of our YouTube members. Deb is here, The Lucky Minute, Chris N. Waltham, Pico in Sepulveda, PZ Papa Zulu, Ryan the Gamer, Lunali Sierra, Theodore Johnson, Christina Pedia, Buffalo Women, Neeby, Baymuse, Dr. McRib, Stephen Elder, Ryan the Gamer, Billy Joe Drage, Mike M., Lunali Syria, sorry if I'm repeating names, Gas on the Brain, Linda Cosma, thanks to all of our members, federally regarded. And Darth Pronator, thanks for watching. Stephen Elder, I think I missed one. I skipped over one. E-Oddity, thank you for being a member as well. And any others I missed in there. Storm Laughter, Jennifer Rochelle. Thank you to all of our YouTube members and all of our viewers over there on YouTube as well. Barbara Crossley, Russell Neal, and others. All right, guys, so I am wrapping this up. Again, if you want to see the satellite shot, head on over to tropicaltidbits.com. Great site. Appreciate them letting us show it. And you can get the latest aircraft recon info there, latest forecast models, and the satellite shot. tropicaltidbits.com. All right, guys, that is it for now. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.